Tens of millions of Americans waking up to dangerous heat this morning with temperatures that feel like triple digits. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Narula, is here with what you need to know to stay safe. And Doc, thank you for joining us this morning. And when the heat is this extreme, we've heard Sam talk about it all morning. What are the warning signs that your body is actually in trouble? And also, what point does it become a medical emergency? Because you need to recognize that.
You do. And so many of us don't think about the heat as really being a problem. But over 2,000 Americans die every year from extreme heat. Extreme heat actually kills more people than any other extreme weather condition, any of them combined annually. So it is really important to think about this. And so essentially our body has a very finely tuned mechanism to keep us around that 98.6 degree temperature. We essentially dilate or enlarge our blood vessels so that the blood flows to our skin. We're able to radiate off heat. We sweat, and that heat sort of evaporates. The problem is when the temperature gets so high, that mechanism in our brain that controls our temperature is overwhelmed and it fails to work appropriately. So there are really three stages that you can progress through. The first is heat cramps. You may get muscle cramping or spasms in your legs. The second is heat exhaustion. That is where essentially you're losing your salt and volume and water, getting depleted. You start to feel dizzy, weak, fatigued, nauseous, and you may vomit. However, the important thing here is your mental status is fine at that point. However, very quickly, within 10 to 15 minutes, actually, it can progress to heat stroke. That is a life-threatening emergency where your temperature, your core temperature goes above 104 degrees, and you develop those mental status changes, confusion, delirium, agitation, slurred speech, even seizures, and that can progress to multi-system organ failure and death if it's not treated quickly. So if you recognize that, you want to call 911, move someone to an area that is shaded, start to mist them with cold water, ice packs, cold blankets, and really try to get their temperature down at least to 101 or 102.
Is it true that if you're not sweating, that's also a sign of something?
It can be a sign, exactly, if you're not able to sweat.
So, of course, everyone's saying, well, then stay inside, stay inside. But what if you can't? What if for work or for other reasons you have to be outside? What can you do to protect yourself?
And there are, Robin, people who are extremely vulnerable. We think about people who have to work outside, athletes, pregnant women, older adults or children, and those with chronic health conditions. And then there are certain people who take medications like diuretics or water pills, overactive bladder meds, even some antipsychotics or thyroid meds that can make it harder for you to temperature regulate or more vulnerable to this problem. So you think about, yes, staying inside, having the air conditioning on, checking the heat index. So the heat index is really not just the temperature, but that combined with the humidity. If the index is greater than 103, you can find this on a weather app, that can be really dangerous. And then you want to wear light, loose clothing, a big broad-brimmed hat, avoid sunburn, alcohol, caffeine, and importantly, stay hydrated. So even if you don't feel thirsty, you want to be drinking every few hours. And lastly, I will say pay attention to your dogs. I have a golden retriever, so short muzzled breeds, pugs, boxers, terriers, very vulnerable because they can't pant as efficiently.
Doc, that's the best I've ever seen done. We just need to keep this and then play it over and over again. It's the best I've ever seen.
All right.
Thanks,
we're all posting it on our Facebook pages. Get the word out.
It is.
It's true.
Great. It is.
Thank you, Dr.
It's that heat index.